If I feel like I'm in danger, I can release that brake and roll on the throttle. At least give yourself maybe 1 or 2 bike lengths behind the vehicle when you're stopped. Because, you know, we get comfortable, we become complacent, and we forget about the techniques that are there to keep us safe. Good morning, people. I'm Tony Rey-no, and welcome to 2Wheel4Fun, a site I created for the simplicity of the ride. On today's episode, I'm gonna try to save a life. You know, because a lot of times, and this is not about tech, but when it comes to tech, a lot of times I think we put too much value on it. 2013 Kawasaki ZX-14R, ABS, different traction modes, power reduction modes, all designed to help keep you out of trouble. 2016 Honda Goldwing, linked braking, very comfortable ride, very easy. Not too much tech is in here, but then it's a cross-country touring bike, so not too much trouble you can get into depending on what you do. Then the 2021 BMW 1250R. What do we have here? Linked braking, different traction controls, power reduction management, something gizmo when you're in a curve and you know, prevents you from falling, adaptive cruise control, all sorts of bells and whistles. A lot of shit I don't even know that's on this bike is on this bike. Most cases I'm concerned about good throttle response, good suspension, and great brakes. Everything else is transparent. But again, we're not here to talk about tech. I'm going to talk about another very important issue that I hope will keep you out of trouble. The thing that I'm talking about that may keep you out of trouble, it's called being vigilant. Because I don't care how much technology you have on your motorcycle, and I don't care how much technology you use in your daily life. None of that will save your life if you're not vigilant. And one of the most important things on a motorcycle that you can do, other than braking, is for you to remain vigilant. And remaining vigilant comes to play mostly at stop signs and red lights. I mean, you've seen those individuals. You come to a stop sign, you stop, and you take your hand off the clutch, and you're just here, just looking around, not really concerned with what's behind them, what may come up behind them, or any dangers that's lurking behind them, because their bike is in neutral. And then next thing you know, some yahoo comes barreling up behind them and either bumps them or knocks them off their bike and, you know, causes thousands of dollars in damage. And then next thing you know, you're hearing a report about how I got rear-ended on my motorcycle. You know, now no fault of the rider in most cases, because after all, the driver is supposed to be looking around and being concerned with traffic. But you as the rider, you are supposed to remain vigilant, because after all, it's your life, right? So why not be prepared? Be prepared for anything and everything that can and will happen, or I should say may happen. You know, and part of that, again, is remaining vigilant. Now this is not to say that whomever was rear-ended or will be rear-ended is not being vigilant on their motorcycles, but in the specific cases where it has happened, if you are rear-ended and it's a surprise to you, I mean, come on, do the math. Because if my head is constantly on swivel at a stop sign or at a stop light, I am looking and waiting for the inevitable. So if it happens, I can react. Not that I can necessarily prevent the accident or prevent the incident from happening, but at least I can do some type of reaction and lessen the chances. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna use this car as an example. So let's say I'm coming up to the red light and I stop at a decent amount of distance. You know, your bike is in gear, because you know, you pretend we're at a red light, okay? The bike is in first gear and you're looking around, you're ready. Right now, if something comes up behind you, you can roll on that throttle and you can go to the left or go to the right of this vehicle. But if you're parked really close behind this vehicle, you don't have nowhere to go. So that's why, one, you need to remain vigilant. Two, use the proper distance of parking. And three, leave it in gear so you can roll on that throttle. So this is the best example I can give you, because I can't seem to catch a red light. So now here's a red light. I'm parked at a decent distance. So if my bike is in gear and I'm looking and I see something, if I feel like I'm in danger, I can release that brake and roll on the throttle. And like I say, depending on traffic, I can go to the left or I can go to the right. Now, if I'm dangerously close to this vehicle, like such, now I have nowhere to go, right? So that's why you want to at least give yourself maybe 1 or 2 bike lengths behind the vehicle when you're stopped. And now, hey, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not perfect, and I'm not thinking about all this stuff every single time I'm on my bike. I mean, I'm human. But when I do think about it, I make it happen. You know, for example, when Boots and Jeans were out here and we were riding, you know, he's like, hey Tony, you know, you're stopping pretty close to those vehicles at the light. And I was like, ah, shit, you know, because, you know, we get comfortable, we become complacent, and we forget about the techniques that are there to keep us safe, or to keep us safer. You know what I mean? So that's what this particular vlog is about. You know, being safe, staying alive, and remembering some of what you learned in class, you know? Yeah, escape routes, people. Escape routes in the event of an emergency. Now, I get it. There are some times where, you know, you're doing everything right and accidents still happen. See, like right now, I'm like dangerously close. I have no escape plan. So if there's something happening behind me, I'm gonna be squashed between whatever comes behind me and this red car I'm hitting. So, perfect example now. So if I have the distance that I needed, I can go to the left or right. And not to mention, when he rolled off, you see how he backed up a little bit or rolled back? Yeah, give yourself distance, people. Give yourself distance.
And that about does it for the day, people. I'm Tony Rey-no, and this has been a safety moment from 2Wheel4Fun. You know, the site I created for the simplicity of the ride. In this life, live life. Enjoy your day.
And when it comes to being at a red light, you know, you've seen those people. They come up to a red light. Ah, shit. Oh, please, cusses. Can I just get a red light? And you drop your bike in neutral, come dangerously close,